Well, all right. Is this thing on? Hey, is this working? Let's see if it's working. Hey, hit the thing, hit the button, turn the knob, then hit that thing, and then hit the thing on there, and then hit that, and then that's how the world works. You sometimes you got to smack the TV. It's like those old school ones that maybe anybody here listening doesn't understand, or maybe you do, and you're just older than dirt. You know how hard it is to get old in this world. It is so hard. It's like everything's out trying to get you. It's like out there. It's like, hey, if it's not, whatever it may be, it's something. Keeping a positive mental attitude is much easier after you've been through so much. And you come out on the other side, and you're like, that wasn't that hard. Well, try telling that to your kid, somebody you're raising, or caring for, or looking after. It's like, hey, it's gonna be easier once we get out on the other side of this. I mean, there's things that you can do to mitigate the pain of learning hard lessons by not doing stuff in the first place. But when you touch the stove and you realize it's hot, how many more times are you going to touch that stove? It's the same thing in life. With learning life lessons. You think of it just as you're a child, you wander up to the stove. No, we're all children. When we learn a lesson, I mean, no matter how late in life we learn it, it's like a child. We learn it for the first time. And so you as people who are responsible, who's responsible, right? Yeah, there's a lot of questions in there, but if you're responsible for the care of others, you need to make them aware that there's wolves out there. It's big bad dogs, packs of dogs. Sometimes the dogs have rabies. Sometimes there's the dogs, they got let loose and they're real hungry. Well, I had to tell my kitten, a story. It's hard to tell. It's a love story, right? We love, and heartbreak, and emotion, and pain, and loss, grief, and recovery. Surviving. So thriving after you survive. So thriver, right? Yeah, and with a positive mental attitude to boot. Right? You got to do what you got to do. And you got to take advantage of every positive situation that comes your way. And when the other ones happen, it's like the milk. Oh man, freaking milk in my car. Well, that was great. I had milk spilt in my car during the heat of the summer. Oh man. So I had to tell him there was this cat, Smokey, and Smokey was an outdoor cat. come inside and bother everybody inside for a little bit, but he stayed outside most of the time. And he liked hanging out. It was our place. He hung out there. He's just that, the porch cat. Wherever you go, if you're lucky enough, you get a black porch cat. Yeah. And so I'm inside. I get the windows open. This was back in Baltimore during one of them cold snaps in the early so late winter, but like not quite spring, and it was like cold snap. So I hear it. I got the window open, and I hear, and I was like, "Ah, that's Smokey." And I had my boxers on. That's it. No shoes, socks, shirt. Ran out. I heard where it was coming from. Ran down. There was a downhill path. And then some guys, they saw me. Basically, just boxers. That's it. They stood there laughing like, "Hey, look at that guy." And I was on a mission. I wanted to go save Smokey. And I got down there and saw the dogs. Said, growl. I freaking growled. You don't ever want to hear that growl. And I picked up Smokey's body and took him back and walked past those guys who were laughing at me. And they weren't laughing. And I looked each one of them in the eye. They didn't say nothing. And so, there's dogs out there. Wild dogs. And, all right, so I'm going to keep this unlisted, but there's something that I didn't give the latter part of the story. I disposed of those dogs. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You want to really know how it happened? You're going to have to ask me how. One of those ask me anything. But none of my cats, because I think we had 6 at the time there. 4 were outside. 2 mostly stayed inside all the time. But yeah, no, nobody messed with cats out there anymore after that. Just they all knew too. They all knew exactly what happened. All the cats. They were like, "Did you see what Big Cat Randall did?" And they all just hung out. They would bring like squirrels, tails, and mice. They just leave them at the door like fresh. Like, "Here you go, Daddy. Here you go, Big Cat." So I didn't tell the latter part of the end result, but I gave the advice to, there's big dogs, big wild dogs, big wolves. Some wolves are good, and some wolves are going to protect you. It depends on how you treat that wolf. Depends on how you treat that dog. But then there's just nasty dogs out there. Pero, you loco pero.